In 2011, Trace Adkins released this music video for his song Brown Chicken, Brown Cow.
Oh, wow.
It gets better. It's a song about a farming couple named Bobby Joel and Betty who, every now and then, get a strong desire to crawl up in the hay and set the barn on fire.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
You see, the words brown chicken, brown cow were sang to the melody of that sound you make when you're kind of being corny and how you want to talk about bedroom activity.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to spell it out, Billy.
Okay. Instead of wak chicka wow wow, Trace sings brown chicken, brown cow.
Oh, they're talking about...
Yep, at CRS that March, Trace flat out apologized for releasing the song. I was there and the crowd cheered. Quote, "They told me it was a hit," he said, "so I'm gonna blame the 3 songwriters. One of those songwriters, by the way, is Casey Beathard, who is gonna be in the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame soon. They probably won't put this title on his bronze plaque."
No. I actually think you can say that about this next song as well. I'm Addison Hager with Billy Dukes, and not every song on this list is an apology. In some cases, the music is just so personal that an artist can't sing it any longer. In other cases, an artist is just sick of playing it.
And in one case, an artist did what he needed to do to get noticed, but now has a song that's like Lord Voldemort in Harry Potter. We just don't speak of it for safety reasons.
We'll get there, but first consider tapping subscribe, and I want to invite you to name a song that you know an artist won't play for whatever reason. See if we included it on this list, or if we should make another. I'm going to stun you with this song.
But you went away. How dare you?
Over You is a CMA and ACM winning song of the year, but there are 2 reasons the writers involved wish they could wish it away. The first is that Miranda Lambert wrote it with Blake Shelton, and then they got divorced, so every night when she sings it, she has to revisit that part of her life. More poignantly, the song was inspired by the death of Blake's brother Richie when he was a kid. Anyone who's lost a sibling knows how much they'd give just for one more day with him or her. Blake would certainly give up his CMA if this song didn't have to exist. An interesting note about this song, per Setlist FM, Miranda actually hasn't performed it since 2020, so maybe she can just wish it away.
In 1998, Aerosmith recorded this song for the Armageddon soundtrack.
My life in this sweet surrender.
That same year, Mark Chestnut did this.
I don't wanna miss a thing.
Talking to Taste of Country, Mark would later admit he was kind of forced into it, didn't love the song. It was, quote, "the last damn thing I wanted to do," he shared. But his career wasn't going great, so he thought he'd get put on the back burner if he didn't listen. I mean, it was a #1 hit, but, quote, "George Jones got mad at me for doing that." I don't blame him. Apparently, the Possum took issue with someone as traditional as Mark suddenly being backed by Strings as he sang a power ballad. Not long after this all went down, Mark Chestnut left his record label because they asked him to cover another pop song, and enough was enough already. "I stuck to my guns, and I'm glad I did," he shared.
Gretchen Wilson has a similar story with a different ending. In recording her album Here for the Party, the Redneck woman had to compromise. She really wanted to include Pocahontas' Proud, a song from her hometown. To get it, she had to cut a song called What Happened.
Got those matching tattoos and those $10 shoes.
Talking to Taste of Country, she admits that years later, she's glad she bent. Quote, "A few years later, I look back at the record and I can't get enough of those 2 songs that I didn't want to cut. And now I can see the expertise that was coming from that set of older ears." So maybe this song doesn't qualify for the list in 2023, but it works for then.
I think these 2 do as well. Eric Church's first radio hit was called Love Your Love the Most.
Fan of Faulkner books and anything my mama cooks.
He never really bad-talked the song, but he said it was something of a try to score a radio hit at the time that he desperately needed one, and if you listen to his full catalog, you'll hear how it's remarkably mainstream.
It's the mustard on the fries line for me.
Kenny Chesney also has shown some reluctance to praise one of his most well-known songs.
She thinks my tractor's sexy.
This hit from 1999 remains one of his most popular songs, but of She Thinks My Tractor is Sexy, he said, quote, "I was smart enough to record that song, but I was smart enough also not to record another one."
Fair enough. let's stop to appreciate some non-country songs the artists who recorded them low-key hate. Our friends at Loudwire created this list of 15 songs, and among the titles are Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit, Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine, Stairway to Heaven, Oasis Wonderwall, and REM's Shiny Happy People.
I kind of get that last one.
Find a link to that list in the description, and while you're there, consider subscribing to this channel for more great country music lists and original analysis.
I need to protect my source for this next one, but I have it on good authority that during a radio interview in about 2010, members of Lonestar saw this hit from 2004's scheduled play and asked the DJ to choose something else.
I can go to work until you find another job.
Mr. Mom was a huge hit.
It was, but it was also their last huge hit. The group said they hated going from rockin' out to a kind of dorky song about Pampers melting in the Maytag dryer. For about a decade, Lonestar were a dominant group on country radio, and within a few years after this song, they were without a record deal. I'm not saying Mr. Mom killed their career, but sometimes you can't get away from a bad hit.
Not gonna give up that source, are ya?
I'm not, but he is quite handsome.
This next one is a pop artist with country leanings, but we'll counter. Miley Cyrus doesn't like partying in the USA. In fact, when quizzed on her own music, she doesn't even recognize it, and has admitted she's not all familiar with references made in the lyrics. Talking to V Magazine a few years after the song's 2009 release, Miley said the song no longer represents how I am. Quote, "That's not where I want to sing, that's not what I want to sing, and that's not what I want my voice to sound like."
Two more. Justin Moore hasn't performed this song live in almost a decade. It's called Back That Thing Up, and it was what used to be known as the Sacrificial single. That's a radio single not really meant to be a hit, but to get you noticed so that when you come with something more radio friendly, it's easier for you. Talking to Great American Country, Moore would say, "I don't know whether to apologize or say thank you after playing that song." The plan totally worked, by the way. After Back That Thing Up, he came with Small Town USA, which hit #1 and launched a very successful career.
I saved a big one for last. Thomas Rhett adds a new wrinkle to reasons why artists don't like their own songs any longer. It's one thing to play a song nightly, it's another to hear it nonstop at home.
Taste of Country Nights, Evan here hanging with Thomas Rhett. Do your little girls, do they love your music, or is it like the total opposite?
My kids are the sole reason that I dislike so many of my older songs, is because that's all we listen to. So, Crash and Burn, I might not even play live ever again. I've heard it so many times.
I'm Addison Hager for Taste of Country. As always, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing, y'all.